What's good? I'm Giorno, and today I'll be showing you guys how to make 2000 swag loops in the style of Lil Tecca, 3EE, and a whole bunch of underground artists that are kind of hopping on this sound. So this whole sound, this whole inspiration, whole genre, subgenre if you want to call it, it's inspired by like the 2000s Pharrell and the Neptunes kind of era going on. So, you know, sideways hats, jorts, you know, the whole shebang. But basically, I feel like the things that define this subgenre are very, very bouncy drums and melodies, really catchy lead lines, and just overall like using sounds from that time. I feel like using Serum 2 or Omnisphere or like, you know, crazy plugins like that, you can achieve this sound, but I feel like kind of stepping back and trying to restrict yourself to sounds that would have been there at that time. I know a lot of the Analog Lab stuff, like their emulated analog synths and stuff, can work as well. Personally, I just love Trident Extreme for these kind of sounds, so that's what I went with. I know Purity can work as well, but I would say that's probably the best way to do it, is kind of limit yourself to things they had at that time. Like pretend you're living in 2005. Like type business, bro. Starting off with 2000s, I always like to start with the drums. I feel like you need to establish the bounce to then fill the melody in, because the melody is just bouncy chords and then you fill the rest in. These are the drums soloed. I'll play it from the fill. Very, very bouncy. So that's the goal. That's what we want here. So starting off, I always just do a kick and a snare. We keep it simple. We keep it nice. This is what we got. Very, very simple stuff. Next, I put in this little shaker just to kind of establish a bit more of a bounce. I did add some little kicks just before the bars, just to give a little bit of oomph. It gives the main kick oomph when there's a kick that's lower in volume just before it. So with the shaker and everything, this is what it sounds like. Very, very simple again. Then I took this scratch. I thought this was kind of fun to do. I took this weird record scratch, and all I've done is chop it up and put it through the drum loop. And it really creates that bounce. Like it really gives it that time warp. I think this is probably my favorite thing in this entire beat. But the next thing, we just got this crash. Simple stuff. Just to give it a bit of oomph on the ones. And then we have this weird little vocal kind of thing going on. And all up, these are the drums. So the reason I do the drums first is because these melodies are very bouncy. They're not like you play a chord for the entire duration. It's more like you play little strummed chords. You're either using a pick guitar, a violin, a really punchy synth. So getting into it, the first sound I started with for the melody was this Mikado violins, and this is what they sound like. And again, we're prioritizing bounce and not chords. So the chords on these, extremely simple. The loop is in the key of C minor. So we've used our first chord, the home chord. We've used a C minor 7, and this C, all this is I've copied it up, so it's on top of the chord. I just like how it sounds. This is without, and this is with. It just gives it, you can hear it, that little type shit. But then I've just copy and pasted the bass note just down one, just to give it a bit more of that bassy sound. And of course, we do not want everything to be quantized. We want it to sound sort of like someone's playing it on a keyboard, like in a way, right? And we always play with the velocities. You don't want everything to just be hitting the exact same on time, quantized the entire time. So for the first 4 chords, these 4 here, they are the exact same chord. This last one here, the 4th, is a little bit more drawn out just because I liked the bounce of it. I liked how it sounded. And then the only variation on this last chord here is we've continued the chord. Instead of having this C above here like this, where it's a minor 7th, and then we have the root note copy pasted over, all we've done is this is a C minor 9th. So instead of having this here, we've just copied it up. So we've continued the regular chord. And then a whole lot of the same thing going on over here. We've just missed the 1 because I felt like it was more bouncy. We've added a little note here, just the F. So obviously our triad would be here. It would be C, D sharp, G. And I've just added this in between just to kind of create a little bit of variation between our chords. It's the same throughout pretty much the whole thing, but I feel like this minor change just makes it sound like something is progressing and we've kind of finished the 2-bar phrase. The only difference here is this is a D sharp major 9th inverted. So all we've done is this is D sharp major 9. This F on here, we've brung that. Oh fuck, I just turned like British for a second. Jesus Christ. We brought this down. So from up here to down here, that's it. That's the only variation we've got. Using the same notes in different chords is how you create nice chord progressions. Like most of these are used throughout the entire thing. Even this D sharp major here uses probably like 4 out of 5 of the exact same notes we've already used. It's just got a couple on top, right? Just to create that little variation. That's it for our first sound. Next up, we've got the bounce going. So we're just going to fill in a little bit of the space. This is a pad from Triton Extreme, Heliosphere. And all I've done for this is the chords are just prolonged. This chord plays throughout this entire time. It's just bouncing on the violins. And then these last 2 chords exactly copy and pasted from the other one. This is what the whole thing sounds like. Very simple, very dainty in the background. Next up, we have this puncher preset, which is just like a really stabby, punchy kind of synth. And I feel like this is really what brings it together. Like the violins sound nice and they give it that little rising up kind of effect. But this is just like in your face, this is the chord, right? Copy and pasted exactly from the violins. Nothing's changed about it. This is what it sounds like. And then next up, the pad was more in the background. This one is the exact same pattern as the pad, but I like how the attack on this synth, it's just a little bit more in your face. It's got a little bit more sparkle to it. And this is the ProSynth Rev V2 Brass. But yeah, as I said, exact same pattern as the pad. All we've got is 2 little notes here that kind of step down just to make it a little different. But this is what it sounds like in full. Like all 4 of these are just layers at this point. So we've got 1 and 2, which are the exact same. 1 here, 1 there, which are the exact same as well. So all we really want to do is just layer, fill in space after we achieve that bounce. Next up is my favorite part, is the leads. Now, my leads, I use a lot of flams, is I'm pretty sure the technical term, or I'm just making up a random word. But if we look at the MIDI here, we start on 1 note and we go up straight after. This, I believe at least, is called a flam. I do this on pretty much every genre that I make, every lead line. It just creates such a nice sound, such a nice bass. It's just my go-to for everything. Triton Extreme, you guessed it again. PMW lead, I'm pretty sure this is in Purity as well, this lead. So, I mean, feel free to use that as well. Purity is probably a good one for this. I know it's used more for plug, but might work for this kind of genre too. This is what the lead sounds like. Very simple. I've left a lot of room in this lead so that I can add separate leads to fill in the space. Like I like call and response leads, especially for 2000 swag. It's a lot more call and response. Like imagine it's a group of people talking. Everyone has their own kind of room to speak. It just creates variation in sound and makes it interesting. Instead of just having one lead playing all of these notes, it sounds boring, right? Like there's not as much movement. There's not as much like, wow, there's different things happening, right? It's just one lead. Having multiple different leads kind of call and respond to each other, it just makes it sound amazing. And I'll show you what I mean when I play the full loop. But the next lead that we got here, we have used ProSynth Square Lead from Triton again. And this one's just kind of a walk down. This one is from the 2nd to the 3rd bar, and we're just walking down with it. Again, using those flams, my favorite, my go-to. But this is what that lead sounds like. Kind of like a Meow lead, Meow synth. I think Venny 3K kit kind of has that stuff going on. The next lead that we got is Mini Korg 700 solo, filling in those little gaps that we got and a little bit of layering in there. But this one really reminds me of like that GTA San Andreas kind of shit going on. So here's what it sounds like. Definitely one of my favorite sounds from Trident. Like, I think this is probably going to be a go-to lead for any of my newer 2000s kind of loops because it's just such a vibey, nostalgic sound. I really do love it. Next up, just to finish it all off, I did add this live bass here from Trident Extreme. When it loads up, there we go. Live bass, Trident Extreme. Easy stuff. And this is just to fill in the space because Netspend wasn't born in 2000s, right? So we're not having no big distorted 808s on this. We're keeping it nice and relaxed, nice and calm. So this bass line is just copy and pasted exactly as is from the violins, I'm pretty sure, the MIDI. This is what they sound like. So overall, this is what the whole loop sounds like now. Real catchy, real bouncy. That's what we want. That's really what we're going for here. So yeah, arrangement wise, we do just have an 8-bar intro. We got a 16 for the chorus. We got a 16 verse, and then we have a little bridge here. I think, yep, exact same as the intro. We've copy and pasted it, and then we've got a nice little fade out because you know them 2000 people, bro. They love their fade outs. But yeah, all in all, that's the entire beat. So pretty much the key takeaways, spin your hat to the side, wear sunglasses at night, wear extremely baggy clothes and like jorts or something, and just make sure to prioritize bounce. I think for the drums here, I didn't mention it before, but I think these are just all from the K Randy kit and a few of them by Prod by Zero's 2000 stash. The K Randy 1K kit's free. I'll probably leave it in the description or something, but you guys should definitely check that one out. Check him out, support him. Amazing fella, bro. You got the whole stash going on. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. My last tutorial was like 2 years ago, so I'm getting back into it, bro. I had a little bit of a sleep in, but we back up now. So I appreciate y'all for watching, and hopefully you guys keep up with these. And thank you for any of the support that I've received before and received now. Like, I really appreciate it.